Ladies and gentlemen, friends across the United States and around the world watching today, thank you for tuning in. Today is February 27th, 2026, and what happened yesterday will go down as one of the most decisive moments in recent South Asian history. On February 26th, 2026, at exactly 4:15 a.m. local time, Pakistan launched Operation Ghazab-ul-Haq, the Wrath of Justice, a carefully planned, limited, and purely defensive military strike deep into Afghan territory, including targets in and around the capital city of Kabul. This was not the beginning of a war. This was a direct, necessary response to years of unrelenting cross-border terrorism that has claimed thousands of Pakistani lives. Soldiers, police officers, women, children, shopkeepers, students. The operation was executed with surgical precision by the Pakistan Air Force using two of the most advanced fighter platforms in our inventory, the JF-17 Thunder Block III and the F-16 Fighting Falcon Block 52+. Let me give you the full picture so everyone, especially in the United States, can understand exactly why this line was finally crossed. Pakistan and Afghanistan share one of the most challenging borders on Earth, the 2,640-kilometer, 1,640-mile Durand Line, a rugged frontier of mountains, valleys, and deserts that has never been fully controlled by either side. For more than 2 decades, militant groups, especially the Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan, TTP, have used Afghan soil as a rear base. From there they plan, train, arm, and launch attacks inside Pakistan. Suicide bombings in crowded markets, ambushes on military convoys, rocket attacks on border villages, assassinations of police chiefs and tribal elders. These have become almost routine. In 2025 alone, official figures and independent reports documented over 1,200 terrorist incidents linked to Afghan-based networks. More than 800 Pakistani citizens, civilians, and security personnel were killed. Schools were bombed during morning assemblies. Friday prayers in mosques turned into scenes of carnage. Hospitals treated burn victims and amputees week after week. The psychological toll on entire communities has been enormous. Pakistan exhausted every peaceful option first. Multiple rounds of high-level talks were held in Islamabad, Kabul, Doha, Istanbul, even mediated sessions in third countries. Detailed dossiers of intelligence, names, locations, phone intercepts, drone footage were handed over repeatedly. Public and private warnings were issued at the highest levels. Close the sanctuaries or face consequences. The response from the other side was consistent. Denial, accusations of fabricated evidence, counter-allegations, and then more attacks. By late 2025, the situation had become intolerable. Border skirmishes turned deadly. In November and December, artillery duels and airstrikes were exchanged. Temporary ceasefires were announced and immediately violated. The final trigger came in January and early February 2026, a string of devastating suicide bombings in major Pakistani cities. Lahore, Karachi, Peshawar, all traced back to handlers and bomb-making facilities operating out of eastern Afghanistan and Kabul suburbs. After exhaustive deliberation at the highest levels of civilian and military leadership, the decision was made. Pakistan would no longer wait to be bled. Self-defense under international law, specifically Article 51 of the UN Charter, became the only responsible course. At 4:15 a.m. on February 26th, the first wave lifted off. JF-17 Thunder Block III jets, Pakistan's indigenous pride, co-developed with China, led the strike package. These fourth-generation plus fighters feature ESA radar, advanced electronic warfare suites, infrared search and track, helmet-mounted display for off-bore sight targeting, and integration with standoff weapons like the RA-AD cruise missile family and precision-guided glide bombs. They are fast, agile, relatively low observable in certain aspects, and cost-effective enough to be produced and maintained domestically in large numbers. Supporting them were the F-16 Block 52+ aircraft, American-built, combat-proven platforms equipped with conformal fuel tanks for extended range, upgraded avionics, AIM, 120 AMRAAM missiles for air superiority, and JDM/ADB precision munitions for ground attack. These jets provided suppression of enemy air defenses, electronic jamming support, and backup strike capability. The mission profile was textbook. Ingress at low level to avoid early detection, pop-up attacks using standoff ranges where possible, laser and GPS-guided weapons for pinpoint accuracy, rapid egress. Total time over target, under 10 minutes. Entire operation from wheels up to safe landing, 38 minutes. 47 high-value targets were destroyed or severely damaged. All locations were in or near Kabul's western and southern outskirts, districts long identified by multiple intelligence agencies as militant strongholds. No civilian residential areas, no mosques, no schools, no hospitals were targeted. Post-strike battle damage assessment, from onboard sensors, ISR assets, and human sources, confirmed extremely high hit probability with minimal collateral. Afghan spokespeople quickly claimed civilian deaths. Pakistan has released evidence showing the opposite and invited independent verification. The operation's design, night timing, precision munitions, avoidance of population centers, was deliberately shaped to minimize innocent loss of life. No Pakistani aircraft were lost. All pilots returned safely to roaring applause from ground crews and support personnel. The Pakistan Air Force demonstrated once again why it is considered one of the most professional and capable forces in the region. Now, let's talk about the deeper meaning. The name Ghazab-ul-Haq, Wrath of Justice, was chosen with purpose. Ghazab conveys divine or righteous fury. Haq means truth, justice, the right. This was not revenge. This was the inevitable consequence when a nation is pushed beyond endurance and chooses to protect its people rather than absorb endless pain. To the American audience, picture this scenario in your own backyard. Imagine well-armed extremist groups operating openly from just across the border in Mexico or Canada, launching daily car bombs in San Diego, rocket attacks on El Paso, suicide vests in shopping malls in Seattle. Imagine your government sharing mountains of intelligence with the neighboring capital, begging them to act, only to receive shrugs, denials, or accusations in return. How many years? How many funerals? How many children lost before the United States would say no more and take measured, precise action to stop the source? That is exactly where Pakistan stood. We're not looking for conquest. We're not interested in occupying Afghan land. We want one thing only: security for our 240 million people. The message delivered yesterday was unmistakable. Terrorist safe havens on our doorstep will no longer enjoy impunity. If they're not dismantled voluntarily, they will be dismantled by force, again and again if necessary. Looking forward, Pakistan remains open to genuine dialogue. If Afghan authorities decide to cooperate, close the camps, arrest key facilitators, seal the border to militant movement, we will respond positively and immediately. Reconstruction aid, trade normalization, joint border management, all are on the table. But cooperation must be real, verifiable, and sustained. If the choice is continued hostility, then Pakistan is ready. Our defense posture will only strengthen. More modern aircraft, upgraded missiles, enhanced ISR, better border fencing and surveillance. Our economy will keep growing despite the challenges.